Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning to the people joining from the US. Thanks for joining today on the webinar in which we will introduce our new platform to you guys. It will take about half an hour. And before we start, I think it's good to mention that if you have any questions, you can post them in the chat. My colleague Marlies is there to answer all questions or to notify me if there's anything that I forgot to discuss or should discuss based on the questions that you guys have. Sorry for my Slack messages every once in a while. I couldn't get rid of that. But without further ado, let's get started. My name is Dimitri Krabbenborg. I'm part of the business development team at Dinosaurs. Been with the company for about 2 years now, so I have some experience with the platform that you guys are familiar with, but also was there when we started developing and rolling out our new platform. Hopefully I can bring some expertise on both sides to this webinar today. On the agenda for today, 3 topics. So the first one is the reason why we started developing a new platform, the reason why I want to show you a little bit. And finally, I would like to tell you how you guys can join and what the plans are for us in the future. So a transition to improved visibility. On the left side, there is a screen that might be familiar to you. You will see a logo that we've been using for the past 4 years. You see hopefully some UX UI that is familiar to you, because that's what we use on the platform that you guys are a member of. On the right side, you see a new logo. And below that, there's something that we call a Mondrian, which is typically something we use in our new platform. The reason that we built a new platform is that we used to have a platform that was around for about 4 years, a little less than that. And during those 4 years, we positioned ourselves as some kind of marketplace where you could either source a project or where you could find people, professionals that are on the bench looking for a new project. But we found out that it was very hard to balance the ask and demand on the platform. The result of that was that the activity on the platform was, according to us, way too low. And that was the moment that we said, hey, we are gonna think about what we can improve to make sure that activity becomes higher and the value of Dinosaurs becomes more as well. So we looked around a little bit, we did some research, and what we heard a lot is that companies and people are not really looking for sourcing a project or finding the right people per se, but specifically are looking for visibility. So IT is changing a lot. The development of IT is going quickly, but the way that IT is bought and that partners in IT are found is still the same way that was done when I was a little kid, and that just doesn't feel right. So we said, hey, if we can create a place where everyone can find the skills and capabilities of IT service providers at the same place, then we can solve this problem. We thought the old platform was not good enough to do so, so we decided to build something new. And as it says here, to create visibility in the vetted skills and capabilities in the IT services industry. To all the old members of the platform, we have sent some emails inviting them either to this webinar or telling them that they're going to be invited via another way, via a community. Well, glad to have you here in the call today. I mentioned a little bit about our goal, what we want to do with the new platform, and I think if I talk about the reasons that why we're here, I can discuss 4 groups of people. First off, you have the service providers that might struggle a little bit with showing the value that they can add, especially with the going to the cloud in certain product groups. It might be hard to show why you are better than another service provider, why you have more skills or why your skills are better, and why you are worth the money that you're asking. Secondly, we have vendors and distributors. We think that they really lack visibility of the skills and capabilities in their channel. They have to rely on partner websites, and they have to rely on contacts they have with their contact people at the partner. But those contacts are always a little subjective because the partner tries to position themselves as good as possible. And because of this, it's very hard for distries and vendors to allocate leads based on objective data. And secondly, it's very hard to assess if the investments they're making into their channel, if they actually result in some positive things, if partners are actually learning. Third of all, we have the professionals. And when we look at professionals, we think that they don't really get the training that they need. So we see a lot of service providers doing their best to gain a certain competency. If I look at, for instance, Microsoft, you want to be Microsoft Gold partner in a certain area. You need to make sure that there's a couple of people trained in your company. And the company will always make sure that they have that amount and probably not a lot more. Which makes sense because it's not visible to everyone that you have a lot of trained professionals. So why would you invest a lot of money in it if you might be able to do it with informal training as well? But we think that to get the best professionals in the channel, they need to be trained at the highest level. And we think that will only be doable if it's visible and the company could gain something when they invest money in their professionals. And then finally, we come to the end customers, and we think they have kind of the same challenges as the distries and vendors, not really in terms of lead allocation and partner channel investments, obviously, but they do have to make decisions based on marketing websites and contact with salespeople. And they can only find out if they chose the right partner when they're doing a project together. So we said, hey, that's kind of weird. We can come up with a way to solve that, and that's why we came up with our new platform. How we do that? We claim to be a directory of IT service providers, where you can find the skills and capabilities of all IT service providers. And when we say the skills and capabilities, we do that in 3 steps. So first of all, we try to understand the skills and capabilities and the industry experience that the professionals within the service provider have. Then we aggregate those skills and experience on a company level, and we validate this data. So we currently validate it by credits given by end customers, and in the near future there will also be the possibility to add the certifications that you've received from big vendors to show that you can actually do what you claim. And finally, we visualize this data, and we do that by something that I mentioned earlier in this presentation. We call it a Mondrian, and it looks something like this. We'll go into it a little deeper, but on the left side you see product skills, and on the right side you see industry experience. For the product skills, we subdivided all the products by big vendors into 5 categories, and we make sure that if professionals of a service provider show which skills they have, a Mondrian also shows showing what the strength of a service provider is. So that's a cool story, of course, but what it all comes down to is what's in it for you. And we say, hey, come on Dinosaurs and make sure that you show them what you've got. And when we say show them what you got, we mean showing your skills and capabilities to vendors, distributors, to other service providers, but also to end customers. And by doing so, we think that you can get more leads, the right leads that fit what you do. By getting the visibility to vendors and distries that might result in being eligible for investment programs. Finally, giving an overview of what you can do is essential if you're looking for other partners to collaborate with, and also if other partners are looking to collaborate with you. How others use dinosaurs is also interesting. I think on the left side you see an example of how a community would use dinosaurs to search, in this case on professionals in the healthcare sector with Azure Active Directory skills, and they find Fortel as a partner that can help them. On the right side you see a QBS example. There is a search. Because in the end, we think that end customers must be able to find the right partner on dinosaurs as well. And we're working with some big vendors and industries to include a search in dinosaurs onto their websites. All right, I would like to give you a short demonstration of our platform. In it, I would like to show you three things. So the first one is, how does a company profile look like? I want to give an example of a project where we need to find some skills for, and we need to find the right partner to help us out with. And then I would like to dip in on the visibility of your partner or of your professionals, and show you that it's completely risk-free to put your professionals on dinosaurs. Before doing so, I will head over to the question section real quick. To see if there's any questions. I don't think so, so we can get into a demonstration. Right. So right now you see, if everything goes well, you see a demo environment. The demo environment means that all the data that you see here is dummy data. So please don't look into that too much detail. We're logged in as a practice manager. That's a role that we created for someone within a service provider that practices the services that you provide. Usually not a billable person themselves, but could be, for instance, a CEO or an HR person who is in charge of making your company profile as good as possible, and eventually also inviting your professionals to the platform. We are the practice manager of a company that we called My Demo Partner, as you can see here. And we're right here on a company profile of My Demo Partner in this case. And the first thing that we see is the Mondrian of this company. So I want to take you through it, what you see here. And the first thing to look at is the 57 over here. This means that My Demo Partner has 57 professionals onboarded, and 5 more have been invited but haven't done anything with it. So they are pending professionals. And those 57 professionals have been asked what kind of skills they have. They can select up to 10 product skills of the skills that they use on a daily basis. And like I said, all those skills are subdivided in one of the 5 categories. And the 2 categories with the most points, so to say, so the most product skills in it, will be shown on the company profile. So in this case, My Demo Partner has 57 professionals, and 46 of them have claimed skills in the development area. Well, if I click on it, I can see the top 10 products that were chosen. So for instance, .NET Framework was chosen by 8 people. So 8 people within this company claim that they have skills in .NET Framework. It's important to note here that Dinosaurs is a multi-vendor platform. So right now you can see all the skills claimed by this service provider. But if I click on all vendors, I can also filter it down. So I can say, hey, I want to see only the Amazon skills, which of course changes the Mondrian. And last but not least, you see here the industry, which gives an overview of the top 5 industries that the professionals have experience in. So in this case, of the 57 professionals, 19 professionals have experience in the consumer services industry. find the right partner for a project or a lead that I have generated. And to find the right partner, I can use the search functionality here to search for the skills that I'm looking for. Let's say very broadly, I'm looking for some Azure skills. I would just type in Azure, which gives me 16 results. And of course, again, it's demo data. And what I can do with those results is filter them down. So we can do that on location, on industry, community, and company size. But for the sake of demo, we'll use location here. Today, I'm based in Amsterdam. So let's take that as an example. And this will filter my results down to 4, of which the partner that I work for is 1. And the next step would be to look at those partners that might be of interest for me. So let's say VivaWare looks interesting to me because I can read a little bit about what they do. I want to make sure to see what skills they have, how their monitoring looks like, and if they have skilled people, yes or no. So I get to their company profile. I can see exactly what they tell about themselves. So this is free text where you can tell a little about us. Scrolling down a little further shows me where they are located. Well, in Amsterdam, because we filtered on this. You can see the size of the company. This time from another company. 13 professionals. And what I always like to point out is something, for instance, if I click on business applications, you see in this case, there's only one person who has claimed Microsoft CRM skills. This is something that I would probably not get from their company website, because VivaWare in this case would say on their website, hey, we got CRM skills, which they will not delete when this person is on holiday or is sick and not working. The information that you see here brings you to some data that will help you decide whether or not this is the right partner. So say you need the CRM knowledge, then working with VivaWare might not be the right partner if you're looking for continuity. One step further, because this is a company overview, of course, I can go one step further to see the people that are working with this company by clicking on view here. And this is where it gets interesting, because I had promised you to look into how we ensure that the risk of putting the data of your professionals on a platform like Dynasource is as low as possible. And what you see here are 2 kinds of profiles. So in the top row, you see things that we call open profiles. You can see a first name, a last name. You can see a photo, a LinkedIn URL, etc., etc. But over here you see 2 anonymous users, private users, that are only users with a skill set. And professionals can onboard as either of those. For us, it doesn't really matter. We just want to know that there's a person working for a service provider with a couple of skills. And whether that's Oliver or Lisa or someone else is not really relevant to us. Because we had so much feedback from companies that have already onboarded on Dynasource who said, hey, I'm going to make sure that all the people that are on board are going to onboard as anonymous users. We said, well, then we change the process. So by default, if you onboard as a professional, you have a private profile, which can only be opened if you really ask for this. Besides that, Dynasource is an invite-only platform. So you can only be invited to join Dynasource either via us or via one of the vendors or distries that we work with. And everyone that gets invited gets checked by us to make sure that no recruiters or headhunters are allowed on the platform. And finally, we have enabled that you can only get in touch with a practice manager, so the person who's in charge of the company account, and not with the professional themselves. Right, so like I said, Dynasource in a very small nutshell. I have to look at the time a little bit, so I would like to go into how you can join and what the costs are associated. We value you guys as members of our old platform, so we have set up a little free trial for you guys. If you onboard before the 1st of December of this year, we give you free access until the 31st of January 2019. And at that point, you can decide whether or not you want to agree or want to continue. So that's the point where you agree to the subscription agreement and where you put in payment details if you want to continue. And then the pricing will be like for everyone else, which is, and that would be if you onboard after the 1st of December 2018 or after the 1st of February if you onboard before the 1st of December, it would be 125 euros per month or 1,200 euros a year if you choose to pay yearly, which is a 20% discount. Of course, we also have pricing in pound sterling, in US dollar, and Canadian dollar. So please reach out to me if you want to know those. For us, the focus will be to make sure that enough partners are going to use Dinosaurs. Dinosaurs is a platform that will only work when there's a lot of companies on there that actively use Dinosaurs. So right now, the first group of service providers is onboarding. We are working with Microsoft the Netherlands. They are promoting Dinosaurs to their partner channel because they think that they can get some insights into their partner channel that they cannot get without Dinosaurs. We work with Tech Data. We've just started the onboarding in the Netherlands, the UK, the US, and Canada, and there are 16 other countries that are going to onboard their partner channel as well. And finally, all the users from our old platform, which is about 4,000, are welcomed on our new platform as well. I saw some questions coming in, so before I go to the last slide, let me just check them. So first off, I have the question, does the new platform still support building out communities, defining own skills technically and business-wise? Yes, it does. So there is the possibility to add solutions to the companies in your community. So if you'd be interested in that, or if you want to learn more about that, I would be happy to set up a call or have some email contact with you to make sure that we scope that out fully and that we can give a good answer. And another question I see here is, this seems to favor large companies rather than highly skilled companies with few employees. How would a smaller company get noticed on the platform? Well, that's a very good question. And what we see is, it's quite funny because we have the smaller companies saying, well, isn't this something for large companies because they rank high? And we see large companies who say, hey, isn't this something that is more beneficial for the smaller companies because they have more expertise? We think the answer lies in the middle. So, of course, a bigger company has more people, but they are usually not very focused on one product skill or on a niche. We offer the possibility to credit the work that you've done. So you can ask your end customers for credit on the projects that you have done with them. And this will influence the search ranking. So if you are a highly skilled professional who's doing a good job, and of course gets a lot of credit for it, you will end up higher than a big company who has a lot of people but has only a few credits. No, this is not just for large companies, but also for smaller, higher skilled companies. Before continuing, are there any other questions? And I see no one is typing, so I will just continue, but please feel free to put them in the chat if there are any more questions. Would like to go to the last slide, and that is that will explain you how you can join our platform. What we would like you to do if you want to join our platform is send an email to support@dinosaurs.com. That will be monitored by our customer success agents, and they are happy to get you started together with me on the new platform. What we would like to know from you is your company name and your company website, for us to place you in the right group on the platform. We would like to know your role within the company, because we need to invite you either as a practice manager or a professional. And for ourselves, we would like to know if you work with Microsoft or Tech Data, because they are already onboarding their channel onto Dinosaurs. or if you work with another vendor, which is interesting for us as well. Well, probably not the most difficult process that you ever gone through. This was the presentation from our side. I hope I've given a good overview of what we do. I know it's short and brief, but happy to answer any questions that have arisen or that will arise in the next couple of days. So anyone who has a question, the floor is open. I see a question regarding the Microsoft involvement. What is Microsoft involvement? Are you accredited by them? We offer something that Microsoft doesn't have at this moment, and that's objective and vetted insight in their partner channel. So the involvement of Microsoft is that Microsoft the Netherlands has said that they want to make sure that a big part of their community gets onto Dynastor so that they can have the insights that I just mentioned. But that's it. So they are purely a customer in that sense. Do we have any other questions? If there are no more questions, then I would like to close the presentation. Like I said, please feel free to reach out to support@dynasors.com. Also, if you have questions before you want to join. And you can also check out our website to get a little bit more information or look at the frequently asked questions in case I missed something. So thank you for your time and have a very nice day.